Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to tell you something very important that you should be aware if you're living in the Western world. To be specific, in Sweden. And that thing is something called quiet hours. If you have heard about it, then put your comment below. Quiet hours mean that we are legally required to not disturb the neighbors by the condominium law. Legal required to not disturb the neighbors by the condominium law. So there are times or the time interval that we are not supposed to be playing loud music at that time, or maybe banging a wall, or maybe maybe vacuum, like cleaning your house, like by that time. And that time is between 10 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's the general guidelines, it says. But it can differ from the community or the landlord host you are in. Or in that it can be for some communities, or maybe for some of the communal, or maybe some of the landlord, they can go up to 10 p.m. But it's rare to find something like that. But most of the time, it's or the general guideline or the general interval time, it's between 10 p.m. to can include also maybe banging like doors when you're opening. Let's say you are living in a sharing apartment. That also can be that can also can include something like that. Like you're not going to open your door in your room and bang, it's not acceptable. If you're not in line with this, it can cause you legal issues, and because it takes longer to get into involved in the legal issues. But it can start with the neighbor maybe writing to you an angry note. You just find the angry note, or maybe they can call the landlord host that someone is maybe playing louder music, and maybe they can also report to the landlord. Okay, my neighbor is like maybe most of the time she will open doors, like she makes noises, or maybe those like that. But also it can also cause issue if you are renting to someone. Someone can decide to let, hey, you cannot live in this apartment because you are being annoying, and or maybe it's annoying to hear you every time that the quiet hours is that you're legally required to not disturb. So make sure you look on your community, you go check the information on your community to know what they say about the quiet hours. But also one of the if it goes, because it's, as I said, it started with the neighbor reporting to maybe to the police, or maybe neighbor reporting to the landlord host, and it will be back and forth. But if it goes to the extent that you are not, they will give you a fine. And it can be it depends. I remember I read in one of the websites where they said, I think it can be 2,500, it can be 2,000, it will depend, but that's the money. It's like maybe 1,500. So I don't think you're ready to give 1,500 just because you cannot be like, you cannot respect the quiet hours at that time. And issue or a challenge that you can encounter is maybe sometimes it can be an issue with you to get housing. Of course, it's not so easy to reach to that extent. But what I just wanted to communicate here, it's just to mind the quiet hours in the community you live. It's between 10 to 8 a.m. That's the general guideline, but it can also be for some communal, maybe the host landlord, it can be 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. So that specific time, we are legally required to not disturb neighbors by the condominium law. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and thank you so much for continuing to support me. Hey, though.